Hi everyone. We have a very big week this week. Module 3 is where we start to learn about IVs. And because I want to devote as much time as possible, especially if there's any students in the classroom that need extra help, I wanted to take the time to do our assignments for the week in a special separate lecture. Not to say that it's a lecture, but just to go over everything so that everybody knows what the assignments are all about and um, not make it part of the regular class. So your Module 3 assignments are as follows. First, you have your regular discussion board, and this week the discussion board is about aseptic technique. Now, if anybody doesn't know what aseptic technique is, that's where we basically make sure that we are completely sterile or free of bacteria and germs in order to make medications. Lots of that happens in a hospital setting, but as we get into some new laws that are coming into effect as of December, that's also going to happen in our retail environments to make medications like mouthwashes and creams in retail settings like Walmart and Walgreens. So, aseptic technique is basically just to make sure that we're not giving any type of infection to patients when we're making medication. It also can be used by other medical staff, so doctors, nurses, people that are going into patient rooms when they're in hospitals, basically preventing the spread of infection. What the discussion board asks this week are what are methods that can be used to help prevent infection in pharmacy and also help prevent errors at the same time. So, want you to name at least 2 ways to correct calculations that can help reduce errors when preparing meds and explain why these methods are important to implement, while also talking about keeping down infection risk as well. Your initial post is due on Tuesday at midnight, and then of course you have your reply post due on Saturday at midnight. A couple things I want to point out about the discussion boards now that we've done 2 of them. I have graded through all of week 2's discussion boards as of this morning. Most of you guys are doing a fantastic job, and I want to thank you for that. Looks like you are all getting the hang of things. One thing I have noticed is that if you are using a reference, please make sure that you are putting in APA formatting. If you don't know how to do that, I would be glad to post the APA guide by the library to show you how to put your references in APA style, because I don't want you losing points for that. And lastly, we're going to do the make sure that you always are posting your discussion boards, your reply posts on a separate day from your initial post. And basically the whole point of that is to make sure that you're listening to what other people, well, listening, but reading what other people have to say throughout the week to make sure you're staying active with the conversations that are going on. And if you just post on the same day within 2 seconds of posting your initial post, you're probably not reading through very much of it. So just a way to make sure that you're staying active in the conversation. The assignment this week is kind of a fun one, I think anyway, and it's actually to do a little bit of messing around in the kitchen in order to do your assignment. So what you're going to do for this assignment is to find 3 powders in your house. It's probably going to be easiest to get some powders in your kitchen like flour, sugar, baking powder, whey protein, different things that you may have in your kitchen. You're going to select 3 things. You're going to tell me the amount of those powders, and you're going to tell me that amount in household units. So whether it be a teaspoon, a tablespoon, or a cup. Now, don't go too overboard and waste a lot of your powders. Small is fine. If you just want to use a teaspoon of each, I don't care. That's perfectly fine. Don't waste a whole lot of stuff in doing this assignment. The next thing you're going to do is tell me what liquid or diluent you're going to be adding to your powder. And you're going to tell me that amount in mLs. So if you are to choose water, you'll tell me how much water you're going to add to that powder. Say you're going to do 5 mLs, you're going to use 10 mLs, whatever that amount is, how much water you're going to add. Next, you're going to combine them together, And then you're going to tell me how much volume you are left with once you add the two things together. And then you're going to do a formula that we are going to learn this week called powder volume. And basically what you're going to do is find the initial volume of the powder that you started off with. So you told me what it was in household units at the beginning. You told me teaspoon, tablespoon, or cup. We're going to find out what it actually was in mLs at the very end. So that's the goal of powder volume. This all may seem confusing. I'm going to show you two examples. So here I put up also this in your announcement section. This is what your rubric looks like. These are two assignments that I've received in the past. Basically, what others classmates have done in the past, what they've used. So flour, sugar, and baking soda were the ones that they picked. I guess both of them, they both use water. They both used water, which is perfectly fine. I've had people use coffee. I've had people use orange juice, regular juice, whatever you want to use for your liquid is fine. Just state what you're using. But you're going to tell me in volume first, as they both did. So 1/4 of a cup of flour or 5 tablespoons of flour. Okay, that's their initial volume in household units. Then the next thing they did is tell me how much volume of water they used. Okay, so the one student did 150 mLs, the other student added 35 mLs. Okay, then they told me what their resulting volume was. So this one got 155, this one got a resulting volume of 40. Okay, and then they did their powder volume calculation at the end. It's as simple as that. And you'll do that for all 3 of your powders that you choose. Okay. The main thing where most people go wrong is they either try to tell me everything in household units, which is not the goal of this assignment, and so everything comes out in tablespoons or cups, or they try to tell me how much it was initially, so the volume in mLs right off the bat of their powder, which is you obviously can't find until you do the calculation at the very end. So you cannot tell me mLs until the very last calculation is done. So please follow these 2 examples if you have any trouble with the assignment. Otherwise, please contact me and I'd be glad to walk you through it even further. You also have a similar case assignment, case scenario, questions based off of a prescription, just like we've done the last 2 weeks. I starred showing your work because I'm still getting assignments where people are not showing their work and losing 10 points for that. Please don't lose 10 points for not showing work. What it also does is if you get a question wrong, it also helps show me where you're going wrong so that I can either adjust how I'm teaching or help you learn it better to help you understand where you're going wrong. So please show your work. A lot of people do have trouble with this assignment. If you have trouble, please ask me before you submit it. Don't send in a blank assignment and say, I'm stuck, I didn't know how to do it, I'm just going to turn it in blank. Ask me first. Believe me, I have students that text me and call me all the time asking me for help on their assignments, and they're doing very well in this class. I don't mind answering questions, so please ask me if you have any need for help. I have plenty of office hours this week, and I also would love to make an appointment time if you need extra help. Course project looks exactly the same as every week. The critical thinking question this week, of course, is different. It's going to talk about powder volume and what the first part asks why we do this calculation. The second part asks 2 reasons why it's important. Make sure you answer both parts of the question in order to get full credit. The very last part is your quiz. Again, another 20-point quiz. It's only on this module. It does not contain any from the previous 2 modules, so that should make it easier if anybody wants to worry about studying. Remember, you do need to complete it before Sunday at midnight to get full credit. This is the only thing during the week that you need to complete on time. And One thing that's not graded this week, you should notice that there's a mid-quarter student survey that shows up. If anybody would like to give some feedback on the online class as in general to Rasmussen and tell them what you like, what you don't like, what things you think would like to be changed, they take that information and help make things better. So make sure that you pass along your feedback, and I think it's a 10-question, pretty short survey. And I hope to see a lot of you in the live classroom tonight, and you'll put in your quiz word based off that classroom by Sunday. So tonight, Monday, August the 19th, 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time will be our class. Hope you guys all have a good week and hope to see you all in the live classroom.